Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are staring down the barrel of a question that I think haunts pretty much everyone these days, whether you're 18 and graduating high school or, you're 35 and feeling completely stuck in your career.
It's the what should I be when I grow up question, even if you're already grown up.
Exactly. But it feels harder now, doesn't it? Because we are living in this era of just aggressive hyper-specialization.
Right.
The world LinkedIn, career counselors, your parents, they all tell you, pick a niche, drill down.
Become the absolute expert in this one specific thing. And the fear is that if you don't specialize, you're just average, you're replaceable.
Right. But then you have the other side of the coin, which is the anxiety. You spend 4 years mastering that super specific niche, and then AI comes along or the market shifts, and suddenly your specialty is obsolete.
It's like betting your whole life savings on a single stock.
Yeah.
Which is a terrifying financial strategy and arguably a terrifying career strategy.
So, today we are flipping the script. We are looking at a stack of documents from Regent Business School focused on their Bachelor of Commerce General degree, the BCom General. And we're asking a question that might make some specialists angry. In a world of specialists, is the smartest, safest move actually to go general?
It sounds counterintuitive, right? We're trained to think general means vague, wishy-washy, or...
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly. But people always forget the second half of that quote.
Wait, there's a second half. I thought that was the whole insult.
No, the full quote is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
I had no idea. That changes the entire context.
It changes the whole meaning, and that's really the mission of this deep dive. Based on the Regent materials, we're going to see if the Generalist is actually the most future-proof archetype we have. We're digging into the BCom General not just as a degree, but as a survival strategy.
Okay, survival strategy. I like the stakes, but I'm going to play devil's advocate right off the bat here. When I hear Bachelor of Commerce General, I picture someone who knows a little bit about everything, but not enough to actually do anything.
That's the common misconception. It's so easy to view it as a sampler platter. But if you look at how Regent structures it, it's less of a buffet and more like learning the architecture of a house before you try to install the plumbing.
Okay, unpack that for me.
The source defines the BCom General as a primary foundation for the entire field of commerce. It's designed to give you the inner workings of how an organization functions.
Across all departments.
Across all departments. So instead of just knowing how to run the marketing ads, you understand how the marketing budget affects the profit margin and how that profit margin dictates the hiring strategy.
You're breaking down the silos.
Precisely. The silo problem. Most businesses fail because the finance people don't talk to the salespeople, and sales doesn't get the supply chain. This degree is designed to build the person who understands the whole machine.
So what does that actually look like? I mean, in terms of coursework? Because business foundations is a broad term. I need specifics.
Well, the curriculum is built on 3 pillars. First, you have those business foundations. This is the nuts and bolts: business management, economics, commercial law.
Commercial law always scares people. It sounds so dry.
It might sound dry, but think about it practically. You can't sign contracts or negotiate deals if you don't understand the legal framework. If you're a manager and you don't know basic labor law, you're a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That's a fair point. It's risk management.
Exactly. Then the second pillar is technological skills.
Now, does this mean you're learning to code? Are we turning everyone into a developer here?
No, and the source is really clear on this. It's not about becoming a software engineer. It's about business-specific software and systems. The guide emphasizes digital literacy. You need to be comfortable with the tools that modern companies run on.
So like CRMs, data visualization tools, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's not building the tool. It's knowing how to drive it to get business results.
Right.
And that leads perfectly into the third pillar. Analytical skills.
This is the big one. We keep hearing data-driven everywhere.
We are in a data-driven world. The days of the Mad Men style executive making decisions based on, a gut feeling and a martini are over.
Tragically.
Maybe for martini sales, but good for business.
Yeah.
The source emphasizes using quantitative methods to assist decision-making.
Yeah.
Can you look at a spreadsheet of raw data and tell me the story of what's happening? That's the skill.
It's interesting because when you combine those management, tech, and analysis, you get a very formidable toolkit. But I want to pause on something else the guide emphasizes. They call them soft skills.
Ugh, I have a personal vendetta against that term.
Me too. It sounds so fluffy, like, oh, he's good at soft skills, he's nice. It sounds optional.
Right. But in reality, these are the hardest skills to automate. An AI can write code, an AI can balance a ledger, an AI cannot negotiate a merger.
Fair point. So what power skills then is Regent focusing on here?
First is communication. And the guide is specific. It's not just being chatty. It's effective business communication.
Which means what exactly?
It means persuasion. Can you write a proposal that a CEO will actually read and approve? Can you stand up in front of a board and pitch a new strategy without crumbling? That is not soft. That is essential.
That's a terrifying thought, but you're right. If you can't sell your ideas, the best ideas in the world just die on a spreadsheet.
Then there's leadership and teamwork. The curriculum includes collaborative projects, and we all know group projects in university are usually
the absolute worst. One person does all the work, one person ghosts, and one person just buys the pizza.
Exactly. But learning how to navigate that, how to motivate the ghost, how to delegate to the pizza guy, how to manage conflict, that is actual management training. That is what real office life is like.
It's basically a simulation of corporate dysfunction.
It is, and learning to thrive in it is a skill. But the third one is the one that really stood out to me. Critical thinking.
I circled a stat here in the notes. It says 40% of employers view critical thinking as essentially the primary thing they look for.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Nearly half of the job market is saying, I can teach you the software. I can teach you our office rules. I cannot teach you how to think.
But how does a BCom General teach thinking? Isn't that just having a brain?
It's about problem solving in ambiguous situations.
Sure.
An algorithm needs clear rules. If A, then B. But business is messy. Business is, our supplier just went bankrupt, a competitor launched a copycat product, and the staff is on strike. What do we do? There is no formula for that.
You can't Google that answer.
No. You need a human who can synthesize law, economics, and human psychology to find a solution. That synthesis is what this degree aims to teach.
So you're building a problem-solving machine rather than a process follower.
Exactly. And this leads to the whole concept of the career chameleon.
I love that image.
It's this idea of the pivot. The source makes a really strong argument that while a specialized degree kind of locks you into a lane, the BCom General builds a highway with multiple exits.
There was a scenario in the text that illustrated this, the finance to marketing jump. I thought this was really compelling.
Right. So imagine you graduate. You're good with numbers, so you go into a finance role as an analyst. You spend 3 years looking at the budget, the profit and loss. You know exactly where the company bleeds money and where it makes money.
You know the truth of the business. Numbers don't lie.
They don't. But then you realize you're bored. You want to be on the creative side because you have that BCom foundation. You understand the product, the consumer theory, and you definitely understand the budget. You can pivot into marketing.
And you'd be a deadly marketer because most marketers just want to spend money on cool ads. You'd be the marketer who says, we can spend this, but only if the ROI hits this percentage.
You become bilingual, you speak creative, and you speak CFO. That is a superpower.
So let's get concrete for the listener who likes the sound of this but needs to, pay the rent. What are the actual jobs? Let's break them down by archetype.
Let's do it.
Okay, archetype 1, the guardian of order. You like structure, you like numbers, you want things to balance.
For this person, the BCom General opens doors to accounting and finance. The source lists roles like bookkeeper, accounting assistant, or financial analyst. This is the heartbeat of the business.
Okay, archetype 2, the growth hacker. You're creative, you like strategy, you want to build things and see numbers go up.
Here you're looking at marketing and business development. Roles like digital marketer, product manager, or business analyst.
I noticed business analyst sits in this creative section too.
It's a hybrid role. A business analyst looks at data to find opportunities for growth. It's like detective work, solving the mystery of why aren't we selling more?
Got it. Archetype 3, the people person. Not just the nice person, but someone who understands human capital.
Human resources. But again, this isn't just planning the office party. The source lists, compensation and benefits analyst, training specialist, HR coordinator.
And I imagine having a BCom is huge here. If you're a compensation analyst, you need to understand the company's financial structure to know what you can afford to pay people.
Exactly. HR is a strategic partner now. You have to be good with the business of people.
And then there's the final archetype. The one that I think is becoming the most popular aspiration for Gen Z. The founder.
The entrepreneur. This is where the general aspect really, really shines.
Because when you start a business, you don't get to specialize. You can't just say, oh, I only do code.
No. You are the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, and the janitor.
The chief everything officer.
Yeah. If you only studied marketing, you might have a great brand, but you'll go bankrupt in 6 months because you didn't understand cash flow. If you only studied accounting, you'll have perfect books, but no customers.
So the BCom General gives you that 360-degree view you need to launch. It removes the blind spots.
Precisely. It gives you enough knowledge in every department to either do it yourself or, just as important, hire the right person to do it for you.
But, and I have to give the source credit for this, they drop a bit of a reality check. They don't promise you'll be the CEO on day one.
No, and that's so important. The text manages expectations. It explicitly states that graduates start in entry-level positions. You might be a marketing coordinator fetching coffee.
The grunt work.
All the grunt work. But the argument is about trajectory. Because you have the broader context, you don't stay a coordinator for long. You understand how your spreadsheet connects to the CEO's goals. That gets you noticed.
So you start at the same place as everyone else, but you climb a steeper ladder.
Exactly. The specialist manages the task. The generalist manages the outcome. And outcomes are what get you promoted.
The specialist manages the task, the generalist manages the outcome. That is going on a sticky note on my monitor.
It's a good mantra.
Let's shift gears to the institution itself. We're looking at Regent Business School. Why them? What makes their approach to this general degree different?
It really comes down to the job readiness factor. We've all met that graduate who can quote Adam Smith, but doesn't know how to run a meeting or use Excel.
The academic ivory tower syndrome. Smart on paper, useless in the room.
Right. So Regent tries to break that down by balancing theory with practice. The source highlights case studies and internships.
I'm a huge fan of case studies. It's basically flight simulation for business. The plane is crashing, you have 20 minutes to save the company, go.
It builds muscle memory. You learn to make decisions under pressure without the risk of actually losing $1 million. And the internships, well, they provide that crucial foot in the door.
Now, for the practical details, the source mentions admission requirements like the National Senior Certificate and NQF Level 4. Can we translate that for a global audience?
Sure. So in the South African context where Regent is based, a National Senior Certificate is your standard high school graduation diploma.
Okay, so step 1, finish high school.
Step 2, you need a bachelor's pass. Basically, your grades need to be high enough to qualify for university-level study.
And if you don't have that specific certificate, maybe you went to a vocational college.
That's where NQF Level 4 comes in. It stands for National Qualifications Framework. It's a way of saying, if you have a vocational qualification that is officially recognized as equivalent to a high school diploma, you can still apply.
So there are other pathways. It's not a closed door.
Exactly. It's accessible but rigorous.
There is one other acronym battle I want to clear up. The source has a specific FAQ about BCom General versus BCom Honors. People mix these up all the time.
They do. Think of it like a video game. The BCom General is the main game. It's level 1 to level 60. You play it right out of high school.
And Honors?
Honors is the expansion pack.
Yeah.
You can only play it after you beat the main game.
That is a surprisingly good analogy.
It works. An honors degree is a postgraduate qualification. You specialize further, you do research.
Yeah.
But you cannot apply for honors until you have that undergraduate degree in your hand.
So if you're applying from high school, ignore the word honors for now.
Correct. Don't put the cart before the horse.
So, pulling this all together, when you zoom out, why does this matter right now? Why is Regent pushing this guide in 2026?
It comes back to that anxiety we started with, the speed of change.
Hmm?
If you focus on learning a specific tool, say you mess with Google Analytics 3, by the time you graduate, we're on Google Analytics 5, or AI is doing it for you.
The tool is temporary.
But the logic of business, that's permanent. Understanding how to create value, how to motivate people, how to manage risk, that hasn't changed in 100 years, and it won't change in the next 100.
So the BCom General is basically investing in the bedrock, not the wallpaper.
And investing in the bedrock allows you to change the wallpaper whenever you want. It signals to employers that you have transferable skills.
Which is the golden ticket in a recession or a tech disruption.
Exactly. If one industry collapses, your skills in critical thinking, analysis, and communication port perfectly over to the next industry. You are robust. You are anti-fragile.
It brings me back to that leadership idea. You can hire a specialist to write the code or file the taxes, but you need a generalist to steer the ship.
The captain is rarely the best rower on the boat. but the captain knows where the boat is going.
That's the takeaway.
And here is a thought I want to leave the listener with. Something the source touches on, but I want to push further.
Go for it.
We talk about AI replacing jobs. And AI is great at specialized, repetitive tasks. It's great at doing. It is not yet great at connecting.
Connecting dots.
Connecting disparate ideas. Connecting a legal problem to a marketing opportunity. Connecting a financial constraint to an HR solution. That synthesis is the domain of the generalist. So if you want to be AI-proof, maybe you shouldn't try to be better at the machine's job. Maybe you should try to be the one person who understands how all machines work together.
Be the architect, not the bricklayer.
Exactly.
A huge thank you to Regent Business School for the source material. It really helped us strip away the stigma of the word general.
It was a pleasure to unpack.
And to you, the listener, take a look at your own career foundation. Is it built on a tool that might vanish? Or is it built on the logic of how the world actually works?
A question worth asking.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive. Stay curious.
And stay adaptable.